B, F to the A-C-K, B, F to the A-C-K, B, F to the A-C-K. I'm black. We black. Hey, everybody.
Y'all. Welcome back to
M.A.D,
Melanated,
Animated, and a whole lot of drama.
Sorry, I got gassy.
Oh, hell.
Whole lot of drama.
A lot of drama. Oh my goodness.
I don't know if you can tell, but we got mics. Y'all can't see mine because mine has to be all the way down here because, you know, I have a loud voice.
Yeah, her voice projects.
It sounds like crap.
She loud. Look, she loud.
Well, at least when I am shouting. So I may bring it up closer.
No, you're loud, period. But when you're shouting, it's even louder.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just depending, we're testing it out. So we listen and we don't judge.
No, for real, y'all. Because if we ain't feeling this, it's gonna be no mics, and we're going back to our humble beginning because our humble beginning was working.
It was working. So, okay. So today for Black History Month, we are talking about dance, fashion, and the LGBTQIA alphabet mafia.
Alphabet mafia.
Gang.
So let's start with fashion, a look, and pose. Ooh, fashion and look and pose. Yeah, fashion, and yes, eat it.
Yo, okay, so we all know that Black fashion plays a major role within fashion, period. You know what I mean? Of course, different cultures have their own styles based off of their history, off of their own culture. Yeah. But as far as modern wear, streetwear, it was all influenced by Black culture.
Culture.
So, fashion, like Black fashion, it roots from self-expression, you know, for empowerment. Because since the dawn of time, we've always been having to, fight against oppression and show that we are in different shapes and forms, and show that we are more than just these objects you see us as.
Yep.
We are people with minds and ideals, and we have individuality and expression, so that's how we use and that's how we use fashion. And it goes back to slavery, right? Obviously, everything could go back to slavery. It literally all could go back to slavery. Everything. But there was a law where Black women were not allowed to show our hairs because, then white women were jealous. And so they made us cover our hairs with head wraps. So obviously to fight against that, we covered our hairs, but we used vibrant colors, patterns. We made them head wraps look
fashionable,
cute.
So everybody else started wearing head wraps.
So everybody else started wearing head wraps.
I thought that was
baby
funny.
Girl,
That's the definition of starting a trend.
You know what I mean? And literally definition. So pretty much, and ever since, we've just taken modern fashion of whatever time we were in, and we've always elevated it, gave it new life, So let's start. So we already know with slavery, we changed it to empower ourselves, and to fight against the oppression of us having to cover our hairs. Then let's go into flapper era, the 30s and stuff, where the flapper girls, that's when girls started to show some skin.
Love that era.
It's
the
beautiful,
fashion,
right?
It's so cute.
But if you see where the flapper dresses were more sequins and shiny, that was all Black people.
Yeah.
So Black people, we shortened the dresses to make it a little more revealing, and then we added the sequences and the jewels and stuff, to give it a more flair, because that's what we do. We give things flair.
Flair and seasoning.
Flair and seasoning. And then we move on to the Civil Rights Movement, where then there's the Black Panthers, who would wear Black leather jackets and just be wearing all Black, and that was for solidarity and resistance, for solidarity and resistance. Obviously Black power, So during the Civil Rights, we were utmost screaming for our basic human rights. And then like we move on to the 80s, which is the hip hop era. And with the hip hop era came the streetwear. And that started with like rappers like Run DMC wearing like oversized clothes, like baggy clothes. And then like women will start wearing these like big old hoops, will have big accessories. Everything was like bigger, like oversized, And because of that streetwear style, that started becoming like beyond. It started becoming
super mainstream,
but it also went into like classy fashion as well. Like on runways and fashion shows and stuff, they always used streetwear to inspire their outfits, to make it something else. And it's like, well, who do you think you got it from? Like it evolved into like high-end fashion. A show I would like to suggest for people to watch is called The Hype. Have you heard of it?
No.
So on Max, once called HBO Max, there's a show. It's a sewing competition called The Hype, and it's all based off of streetwear. It's a competition of streetwear. Offset. Oh gosh, let me not like. I can't even remember the other two judges' names. I know their names. I just can't remember. But either or. So it's 3 judges. Yeah, Offset's one of them. And they pretty much could co-sign the designers.
Nice.
Like whoever is the winner, right? And when I tell you, these people are so talented, and it's like different people from all different parts of the country who do have their own fashion designs and stuff. They're not big names. They're trying to make it out there with their modern looks and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's competing for streetwear, like streetwear. And it's a great show. Y'all should go see it. It's a great show. But I'm sorry, I forgot to mention during the Renaissance era, that was just before the flapper era. That's when we started, us as Black people, we started incorporating bold colors, like bold, vibrant colors within like the fashion community. And so that, because we were always, and it was like flamboyant stuff as well. We like brought in like flamboyant looks. So it was like, we went from like sharp colors, bold, bright patterns and stuff like that to, showing, sequence and looks and, to like the oversized to give it more of a street, like more of a, like a laid back kind of a look, and for Black people, we've always incorporated, like within our fashion, we've always incorporated things such as like our like African prints.
Yep.
Our African,
very common.
Very common. So African prints, big hooped earrings and stuff for like women. For Black women, like wearing like the big hooped earrings.
Yep.
Over feminizing, like we always did the feminizing. Our head wraps, big staple, and then sneakers. The Black community, not heavenly, but heavily. Yeah,
heavily. I'm like heavenly.
Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say.
I did know what you were trying to say. Yeah,
heavily influenced sneaker culture. So if you know a sneakerhead, it came from the Black community. Point blank.
A lot of sneakerheads are Black.
Yeah, that's true though.
Like a lot of them.
Yes, the majority of them are Black. Yeah. But yeah, Black fashion has definitely. I'm not gonna say we started fashion, because fashion is obviously like clothes is clothes, right? Yeah. We wear clothes since Adam and Eve ate the apple. Right. We're wearing clothes, but Black people has always elevated the clothing. We've always used it. It was our way to not only express ourselves, to speak up for ourselves, to show that our individuality, to show looks. Yep. So we have always been the turning stone, the turning corner, the corner turn. What is that saying? The turning corner? The turning.
You need to start reading a thesaurus. Turning point?
No, not turning point. Not turning point.
I don't know what you're trying to say then.
There's a saying like the turning corner or something like that.
I don't know what you're trying to say.
Yeah, fashion.
But
period.
speaking
of
of
that,
that,
judging me because I don't read like that. Thank you.
Anyway,
what?
I wanted to spotlight some fashion icons that I found while I was researching. So the first one is a fashion icon from 1860. Her name is Elizabeth Keckley. She was the personal dressmaker for Mary Todd Lincoln.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Abraham Lincoln's wife.
Yeah.
Zelda Wine Velds.
Playboy bunny.
She was the designer for Ella Fitzgerald and Mariah Cole. So
and did she also the Playboy bunny costume?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah. I had her down for designing Cole's famous off the shoulder dress.
Ooh,
you know, because that's icon like wedding dress. It's the off the shoulder now. The first African American fashion designer like ever like I guess acclaimed was Anne Lowe, and she ended up designing the famous bridal gown of Jackie Kennedy. Ooh. Which apparently that's like an iconic dress. Yeah. And then I spotlighted like two modern like fashion icons that I
Dapper Dan.
Okay, no.
Dapper Dan is a black fashion icon.
No, but that's not once I'm spotlighting. Good. Virgil Adoho, who unfortunately passed, rest in peace. He was the first black person to lead a French high fashion brand.
And Louis Vuitton.
And you know I have to spotlight La Roche. Okay, I love this man. I love him and Zendaya, but I love him, especially with his long bust down.
His bust down.
Ooh, get my life. Yeah. Get my life.
I love me some La Roche. Like, I love La Roche.
Like, once we get big, I would love for him to style me. Yeah. I would love for it.
Yeah, but Dapper Dan is like the pioneer in streetwear. So definitely can't miss out on Dapper Dan. Like, anybody who's anybody, when you talk about streetwear, they say Dapper Dan. So, yeah.
That's fashion, y'all. But now, because, you know, fashion was used to express. But, you know, another version of expression that's very commonly known is the dance. It's the dance. Yep. The dance. The dance. And, you know, black people have been dancing since, slavery.
Before that.
Well, way before slavery. Before we were taken out.
Yeah. You know, we were dancing in the streets.
But before we even get into, like, dances that like have happened over or like where dancing originated from, I just wanted to name some of the few dances that black people have created. Okay. It's a list of like 65 that have become popular.
I would even say we kind of did them all, and it was kind of. And it was so taken. Like, it was, you know, like.
That's very common, though.
It's very common. Still to this day on TikTok, it'll be black dancers, TikTok dancers, who will come up with a dance. Yeah. But it doesn't get popularized until a particular white social media person does it. And all of a sudden, that person was the one who created it.
Exactly. Not rock. But for one, because, you know, streetwear. Breakdancing, of course, from us. The Boogie Woogie.
Which was the Boogie Woogie?
I don't know, but I've heard a song called the Boogie Woogie, and so when I saw that was an actual dance, which I cannot do the dance, I try to find the dance. I only saw white people doing it, and I feel like that's the wrong way to do it.
It probably is.
So yeah, if y'all know how to do the Boogie Woogie, let me know. The Bus Stop. I don't know what that dance is, but that was a dance. You know, the Cabbage Patch. Ow. Bounce.
Yeah.
Okay. The conga.
Yeah. Because it's from the islands.
Yeah. But I'm just like, okay.
That ain't a surprise.
No. Disco, of course.
Of course.
The Funky Chicken.
I'm shocked on that one.
Why?
That we started the funky chicken?
Come on now.
I'm shocked.
You need rhythm to start dances.
I'm shocked that we did the funky chicken.
But look,
that we started it.
The funky chicken that wild. We know now is probably not how the funky chicken was originally.
I need to see what the original looked like.
No, because for real.
That's wild.
For real. Crumping. Like, yeah.
Like, yeah.
Mooch. I don't know what a mooch is. I've never seen the mooch dancing, but
I know what a mooch is, but I don't know about a dance.
Rumba.
Okay. The rumba?
Yeah.
I would have thought that would have been in like Latin America or something.
It was on here.
Okay.
It's on here. One that I thought was interesting was snake hips.
I don't know what that is.
I think that's like you know how Shakira be doing that?
I wouldn't be shocked by that.
Well, I'm just like, I haven't, because, I'm thinking that's more like belly dancing. So, but I'm like, snake hips. So that's just a few over the years. But yeah, there's a whole list, y'all.
Oh, yeah.
A whole list. Yeah. But I want to talk about the cakewalk. So the cakewalk is a dance that originated actually from slavery. And basically, and it's also a carnival game now. If you never played cakewalk, but it's a carnival game. Yeah. And for those who don't know the carnival game for cakewalk, what you do is you go around in a circle and like music's playing, and when the music stops, you on a random number, and if that random number is called, you win a cake. So the origins though of it is that there would be couples and they would like dance to a song, and whoever was the best dancing couple, they won the cake. Now, while I was researching this, I was shocked. Okay, because if y'all think black people were dancing now, damn people
you were looking like you.
I was watching
when you were watching them.
Yeah, I was watching like the older people. They had they would put the people with making these to shame. To shame.
I've seen videos like that. Oh, you're just like, well, dang, you're gonna break something.
I'm like, oh, is that what we were doing?
It would be like the same thing, like when you see those like old timey dances where they're like,
the Lindy Hop is the one that I'm going to talk about next. But this came in the 1930s during the Harlem Renaissance and all the jazz stuff. Okay, I'm going to put a little like clip it right here, y'all, of the Lindy Hop, just so y'all can see, because it's crazy. They're jumping over each other. They're doing all this stuff, holding each other, like shaking each other. Dude, I'm like,
they're swinging each other. Wait.
I'm like, y'all scared me. I'm like, y'all, this is super cool, and it's just amazing because the athleticism. Yeah. I swear, I want to bring that dance back. I want to bring the Lindy Hop back because I know it ain't. If it is happening right now, it's very.
It's like so there are
and they ain't doing all the flips. And
so there are like dance clubs kind of like it's like let's say meetups, like the app Meetup and stuff. Yeah. There's like where people will meet up or whatever to do like dances and stuff. I remember this is like obviously pre-COVID, like way pre-COVID. A friend of mine actually invited me to one of those like dance things. I can't remember what it was called, but when I got there, it was people of all ages, like just different kinds of people, and like just doing different kind of dances, that being one of them. There'll be like people doing that, doing like old school, like rolling around, like I mean when I tell you just all kinds of old school stuff, I'm like, this is cool.
I loved it. I swear I watched that video multiple times because they were killing it. Another one I want to highlight is the Charleston.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
Back in the day, you would swear jazz music was the twerking era.
It probably was.
It was lit.
They said we're playing every instrument, so you better do every dance.
I swear if I was in the past, I definitely would want to be in that era just so I could see that dance in real time.
Yeah.
Like it's so amazing to watch those. One thing that I found out was that tap dancing actually, we are co-creators of tap dancing.
Okay.
Because it comes from um African Americans as well as Irish immigrants. What we did is we took clogging and then made it into tap dancing. So we do give them their flowers because we're people that do that.
We do that.
We do that. But yeah, tap dancing was very interesting. That I found that out, and there's like prevalent tap dancers and stuff. But then we created hip hop. And then from hip hop came crumping. And speaking of crumping, y'all, if y'all don't know what crumping is, as Black Americans, as people who want to know what crumping originated. Where did it originate from? Anyway, I forget what actual city it originates from. I believe it was up in New York or the Bronx. I believe
a lot of New York started a lot of stuff.
I believe it's in the Bronx. But crumping, people say it looks violent. It's not. It's a way to express yourselves with for me, when I'm angry, I will crump.
I would say it's a way to express rage.
Yeah. But if y'all want to know about crumping, the movie Rise, it came out in like 2005. It is available on Tubi. It is completely free, y'all. Y'all need to check this movie out. It fully goes into how crumping started, who like the originators of are, and I believe I actually have that information. So the originators of crumping was Caesar Willis, or he's known as Tight Eyes, and Joe Arts Rota, and he is as Big Mojo. And there's also a variation of crumping, which is called clowning. And if you know Tommy the Clown from LA, he originated from that. So yeah, y'all. Yeah, like y'all understand. When Crumpy came on the scene, even though I was a little black on the suburbs, I swear I was a crumper. I swear. I would be in my room, crump, clown, bring it on down, crump, clown. So yeah, there's so many like dance icons like in our community, like black from early on until now.
Definitely.
Like so many guys. I'm not going to like list them all, but you probably see them coming up on the screen right now because I want to shout them out. Definitely. So you probably saw Bill Bojangles. He's a famous tap dancer. You're gonna see a few other names, some ballet artists as well. Dancing is such an important way to express yourselves, and we as African Americans have used that for centuries to express ourselves in different ways. And even though we were kept out of some fields like lyrical and contemporary, we had people like Alvin Ailey. I apologize if I'm saying his name wrong. I'm probably saying his name wrong. But he is a very renowned choreographer. He has his own dance academy. And he really helped bring African Americans into more like the modern and contemporary. Because, many people are thinking we could just jump and jive. We can't be slow.
They think we can do all the fast stuff, all the sexual stuff. But we can't be
like slow and calming. And look, I'll tell you this right now. We have some lines, okay? Especially when it comes to like contemporary or even voguing. I didn't even touch on voguing, but I'll let you touch on that because
I'll have some voguing.
Because voguing is a whole nother thing, y'all. But it's still another method. And all I gotta say is because I love dancing. Dancing is like one of my favorite ways to release aggression, not just crumping. I do contemporary. I try to do a little ballet. I ain't formally trained, but
I did ballet for pirouettes. I did ballet for 6 years. And that was like the one thing I do wish I stuck with was ballet. Like I don't regret a lot of things. So that's one of them.
Yeah. I mean, you can always go back. We can always go back. Say less, because I'll do an adult ballet class real quick. I love dancing. Like, I don't know. Dancing just makes you feel so free. And I completely understand why people will use dancing as an outlet. Yeah. Like, I love it so much.
Definitely.
So much. I honestly feel like it kind of connects me to my roots that I haven't yet discovered.
Your roots that you have yet to discover?
Yeah, like my heritage.
Okay.
I feel like I don't know, and this is just me, but when when I'm dancing, I do feel some type of connection to like my ancestors. It may not be like the dancing that they used to, but I do feel connected as a whole when I express myself through dance. It's just a different feeling. So yeah, that's just my little TED talk on dancing. If you're mad, dance. If you're sad, dance. If you're hungry, dance.
Look, I stay dancing, right? Look, I stay dancing. I grew up dancing, so yeah, I love dancing too. It's my thing, girl. It's my thing. But okay, so the last but never the least, I would like to talk about the LGBTQIA plus, the alphabet mafia in the Black community. So I mean, we can think of. Okay, I feel like when we think of like the gay community within the Black community, borderline non-existent, because there's a whole reason.
It's a stigma.
It's a huge stigma.
Yeah.
It's a huge stigma to be Black and gay.
Yep. Or used to be. I feel like it still is, but it's not as prominent.
So I definitely so first of all, Black people are the highest homophobic race in the world. And I mean, it makes sense. Well, I don't want to say in the world, but we are one of the top like homophobic races. And that all stems from obviously all the way back to slavery.
Yeah.
And it's about pretty much our image, only because we have to fight so hard and for so long to be seen as people, regardless of our color. And then when we add now our sexuality to it, it's like for the Black community, it's almost like you're defeating all the hard work we're doing, because now we have to fight for this kind of a situation. It's a lot. But so obviously it could start all the way back to slavery.
Yep.
As everything does, where Black men were subjected to.
I hate talking about that. Literally, I hate talking about that.
I know.
This is like one of those topics.
Yeah, so Black men back in slavery were subjected to buck breaking. And so that's when white men will pretty much rape Black men and break them in. And if you don't know, that's actually where sagging started. So like the white masters will make Black men sag their pants to let other gay white men know that he was broken into. So that's why I'm always telling guys, like, you might want to pull your pants up, because it's not only a thing, because also in prison, that's how they know who is available.
Yeah.
Like who's willing to get it, So it's like, yeah, might want to pull y'all's pants up, but it ain't as cute as you think it is. I mean, it's never been cute. It's never been cute, but,
Yeah.
But so that's where it started. But obviously, since then, believe it or not, there were a lot of actually gay activism back then as well. Like even not just, I'm not going to just say with white people, because we ain't talking about that, but with Black people as well. There were like gay Black people like fighting for gay rights even during slavery at that time. The first person. So there was a drag queen named William Dorsey Swan, and he was enslaved. He was a enslaved man, but he was the first person to lead a gay resistance.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely back in the slavery times, bro. But he organized series of drag balls.
Oh, I love that. They had balls back in the day, bro.
Yes.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, so he organized drag balls. He was arrested numerous times because those balls would be like raided and stuff in Washington, D.C. And it included the first documented case of arrest for female impersonators, so like
Oh yeah,
drag
drag
queens.
queens.
Yeah. And then there's like people like Lucy Hicks, which was a trans woman. She was in 1880. She was born in 1886, but in like the 30s or so, she was arrested for her. I guess her husband was in the military,
Mm-hmm.
and she was getting like spousal privileges, like
Mm-hmm.
based off of him being on in the military, and they arrested her and him because she wasn't considered a woman. She was,
Yeah.
she was impersonating a woman. That's what
Mm-hmm.
they deemed it as. So to
Yeah.
her, them,
They're
you're
like,
not a woman,
nah.
like, and you're taking these privileges from people who
Mm-hmm.
are actually women, kind of a situation.
Mm.
Like, so like trans hate, it stay happening. So during the Harlem Renaissance, that's when subcultures of African American, LGBTQ, and actually Latin Americans as well. And that's when the artists and entertainers of gay artists and entertainers started coming up. That's when
Yeah.
they started popping out, and they were not shy
Right.
about being gay.
Mm-hmm.
Queen Latifah played one of those characters, Betsy Smith.
Yeah.
Betsy Smith. Queen Latifah
Mm-hmm.
played that character. You know what's so crazy? I will be honest, like, not that I didn't think there weren't any gay people back then, but I was really surprised. Like when I watched that movie,
Mm-hmm.
like she was very open about her
Who she
loving who
loves,
she loved
yeah.
and stuff like that. And I think that like kind of shocked me because I'm over here thinking it wasn't until like
The 60s or
what I mean? To
70s,
where they were
yeah.
being very open about it. But no, she was out there just being like, and she wasn't the only one. A lot of men, a lot of women, they were like, yeah, and they continued to say who they liked.
Yeah.
But places like the Savory Ballroom, Savoy, Savoy. I'm sorry, I put the R in it. Savoy
Mm.
Ballroom and the Rockland Palace hosted drag balls
Oh,
and
love
and
it.
extravaganzas. So where people could start winning like prizes and stuff after they do
I
their like walks and
love
stuff
it
like
because
that.
you really think it started in the 60s or 70s, but no,
No, it
they were
like
doing it
they were
back
doing it
then,
early. Like they
bro.
were
I
doing it
love
early.
that.
Mind you, the Renaissance was happening before the 30s.
And before
Like
Jim Crow laws were still
so, you
active,
know what I
bro.
mean?
I
Like
love
they
it.
were really
I
going
love
at
that.
it. But then of course, like just before like Stonewall and stuff,
Mhm.
or like actually let's say like during Stonewall, like the Stonewall protests and stuff like that. So if you don't
Mhm.
know about the Stonewall, it's where a brick was thrown into a gay bar,
Mhm.
and so riots started happening because people kept getting harassed, they kept getting killed, they kept, things are kept
Yeah,
happening to
people
these
got
gay people just
enough.
living their lives. This is a place that accepted
Everybody.
everybody, and oh, actually, I don't think they accepted black people, but either, yeah, if I'm not mistaken,
Didn't a black person start the Stonewall riots?
no, well, no, but there was
Who started the Stonewall riots? I thought it
the
was a black trans woman.
a butch lesbian. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. So yeah,
okay.
she is black. I think she's half black or something like
Oh,
that. But she
okay.
did start the riot. She was like a
Uh-huh.
big figure of the storm. Her name is Stormy Delavare.
Uh.
That's very fancy. But she was often dressed in men's clothing and stuff, and she was
Oh.
often arrested because they had a three material rule.
Mhm.
So I guess there was a law where you had to wear at least three items of your birth sex. So you had to wear three items that made you look like a female, three items that made you look like a male based off of your birth sex. Yeah, and so not only her, but many of her sisters were often getting arrested, like young people, and she was like so over it. So yeah, she started the Stonewall riots, but I don't
Mhm.
think if I'm not mistaken, Stonewall, it was from the Stonewall Inn, and yes, it was like a gay establishment, but I'm pretty Look, don't quote me on it. I would have to look back again, but I'm pretty sure they didn't allow black people to though. But still, black people stayed fighting for anybody and everybody. Yeah, don't quote me on it. Let me look back on that. Yeah. But yeah, so Stormy, she was a butch lesbian who often fought within those riots and whatnot. Well, stop. I'm not gonna call them riots because even though the media and stuff called them riots, she was like, they're not riots. We like they weren't rioting; they were protesting. Yeah, but they had never rioted. You know. So blah 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 blah. So, if you don't know, I got a bunch of this.
Research.
I did a lot of research. We do our research
because we don't want to come to y'all uninformed. Okay.
Yeah, but we're also not perfect, so we also know that some things might not be as accurate.
Oops. Yes, and we do not mind. We do not mind being fact checked.
Like, we do not mind being fact checked.
Correct us and give us the truth. Look, the truth shall set you free, and we truly believe that.
We truly believe that. Okay, but then post Stonewall, the post Stonewall riots, LSA, which is the Lambda Student Alliance, was established at Howard University, and it was the first openly Black LGBT organization on a college campus.
Love it.
So you look, Howard and HBI. I was going to say HBCU. I said that.
HBCU. I don't know what you were going to say.
You know, the head be in charge. That's what that is. HBIC. That's what I was about to say. My bad, people. Did not say. But after, in 1883, after the battle over LGBT participation, the 20th anniversary within the March on Washington, a group of African American leaders endorsed national gay rights bills and all that jazz. Definitely. So I'm about to go on with dates because there were dates, yo, and I was like, what? Not a lot of dates, but there were dates. Okay. So in 1989, Kimberly Crenshaw coined the term intersectionality, which shows how different aspects of one's identity, including race, sexuality, gender, etc., combine to affect their lives. Okay. So pretty much that was that before we had now non-binary and all that. That's she coined it first, pretty much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then 1993, William F. Gibson, national chairman of the board of NAACP, endorsed the March on Washington for lesbians, gays, and bisexual rights and equality. Right? Okay. 2009, February 2nd, 2009, RuPaul's Drag Race was first aired, and that's when that's when the normalization and promotion of...
I do have to say, for 2009, the graphics were horrible.
You know what's so funny? And it was so crazy because the filter... They had a filter! But look, even regardless, it became...
a sensation.
A sensation. Do you know how many Oscars?
Season 1 now.
I know, it's hard.
You know how they remaster stuff? I need them to remaster
that one. You know what I mean? But they've won a many Oscars over that show. A many Oscars.
Yeah. It's well deserved.
Yes, RuPaul is definitely an icon.
It's an icon.
He is an icon when it comes to drag. Obviously there's others before him as well that he will always mention.
Yes.
But he definitely brought it to the mainstream.
I truly agree.
Truly brought it to the mainstream where people are like, what? Because he brought it,
you feel,
because he brought it to the stage. He brought it to the screens. You know what I mean? So okay, then we have May 19th of 2012, and the NAACP passed a resolution in support of same-sex marriage. The same year, President Barack Obama,
my president,
he became the first sitting president to openly support same-sex marriage.
My forever president.
You know what I mean? 2023, Black Lives Matter happened, and that was actually Black Lives Matter started by 3 women, 2 of them being queer.
Love it.
2017, Moonlight, a Black queer-centric film, won several highly acclaimed awards. 2018, a critically acclaimed TV show, Pose.
Y'all, if y'all have not
premiered.
seen Pose, y'all need to watch Pose. There are icons. Like, that show is so good. It is like one of the best shows.
Yes, it's the first to feature predominantly people of color LGBT cast on a mainstream channel.
Literally all of them.
Yeah, all of them are people of color. All of them. Yeah, the first, like, literally. And
loved it.
Such a great show.
It is.
I haven't finished it, but I still love it.
What season are you on?
2. I'm on season 2.
What episode are you on? Spoilers, sweetie.
Spoilers, sweetie. Dang, it's been a minute. I had to stop watching it because I think something was happening that was kind of frustrating me, and I needed to take a break. Because I hate when things like start frustrating me, so I'll be taking a break. I don't want to
tell you if you don't know.
Yeah, don't, because I'll be mad if you ruin it for me.
Well, what was the last thing you've seen?
I'm trying to remember. I just remember. I think it had something to do with Elektra. I know.
Oh, did she get her?
Well, I know she already did her sex change.
Okay.
They kicked her out.
Okay.
Then
she's at Blanca's.
Blanca took her in, and she took care of her. And then all of a sudden, she want to act up and start her own house.
Yeah.
We'll start a new house.
A new house. Yeah.
Yeah. Sheesh, what else was happening? I wonder, is that the same time where Angel was going to that photographer and that photographer was using her?
Yeah, but did you see what happened afterwards?
Where homeboy beat him up.
Okay, Poppy. When
Poppy was
when Poppy said, "Where's
the photo?
Poppy
where's the photo?
Poppy was lit. So you already got the candy then?
Candy. Was she getting her BB?
No.
Wait. Okay.
Never mind. Then you didn't get there.
Okay. Then
the only thing, because
that's the only thing I can remember. Kitty was the one who was getting her, like, getting the body yada yada.
Yeah.
Right?
Then you ain't got to that point. You need to finish.
I do. No, I really do. Like I said, I had stopped because I was starting to get frustrated. I think because of Elektra, and sometimes I'd be needing to take a break, and then I'd be getting into my other shows, and I get.
I feel like that show's been off for a while now. You have no excuse.
No, but mind you, I didn't start watching it until
it was
like
already done.
Last year.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's been out. I didn't start watching it until last year. So no, yeah.
Y'all watch Pose.
Watch Pose. In 2019, Atlanta's mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms became the first elected official to establish and host an annual event organizing and celebrating the Black LGBT community. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And then also in 2019, Chicago's mayor Lori Lightfoot became the first openly queer Black person elected to lead a major city. I do remember that.
Yeah,
I remember that being a whole thing. And I was like, yes, serve. Last but not least, this is my last timeline part. In 2020, Richie Torres and Mondaire Jones, sorry if I pronounced that incorrectly, becomes the first openly queer Black members of the United States Congress.
Love it.
So what I love the most, reason why I want to put all that, because there's a timeline. I want you to know that progress happens. To see how much fights we go through as Black people, but then Black queer people, and to see us now, we're in office openly, because mind you, there's probably a lot of us, or even our white counterparts, up in office, all kinds of queer.
They're hiding it.
And they have to stay hiding it. But now they're just openly 2 members in U.S. Congress open. So that's crazy to me. Right? But then we get to ball culture. So the ballroom. So that's what she was talking about with the ballroom,
which is on Pose.
It's on Pose. Pose actually
it's
very much
all about
it's all about ballroom. It's set within that time. And so ball culture, so which is the drag ball culture, and there's many names. House ball room culture. There's just so many names. There's so many names for it. But it was started by young African American and Latin American underground LGBTQ community. It's a subculture, and it started in New York City because New York City be staying started, which people would walk. Walking is like their competition, so they will do all kinds of things. There will be competitions for face. There'll be competitions for modeling. There'll be competitions for dance, Vogue, which is voguing and stuff, and Vogue. It was inspired by the Egyptian hieroglyphs. So when they saw that, the hieroglyphs doing on, that's when they started voguing. And then they used that along with like the Vogue magazines, like very high class, like photos and stuff, and that's what became ballroom culture. It pretty much started in ballroom, and then you also have like your houses in ballrooms. So like you'll join. One of the things we want to do is either join or start a house. We want to do that so bad. Because man, we love bring back Legendary.
Y'all, if y'all have not gone and seen our first ever video, go watch it because you'll understand our passion for the ballroom community. It just basically we jot down everything. And Legendary is a show, and we're gonna talk about it again because Max, you're fucked up. Ron, you're down fucked up. Okay, Legendary was so good, and we can't even. Do
you want to be a legend? You can't. Like you can't even. When I tell you,
go to YouTube,
and even like, then it's only like clips.
Like
even then it's just clips.
You can't watch it anywhere,
anymore, which annoys the life out of me.
I'm like, bro,
like I be wanting, content. You know what I mean? I be in the mood. I want to watch Legendary.
I want to rewatch it. I need to rewatch season 1, 2, and 3.
You know, like they did their big one on that show.
That show was so good.
And I feel like if they kept going, just imagine the guest judges that would be up there.
Yeah, Kiki was eating her season.
You know what I mean? Kiki did that.
Yeah.
You know, I thought I was gonna be mad with Megan because I love me some Megan, but Kiki did that. My girl, I love me some Kiki too, though. Yeah. So you know, at that time when she called out Law Rose,
and he was just like,
and he said, "You ate, look, you ate." But yeah, ballroom culture started when New York City, and it became like the thing when, and it's one of the best things, you know, within the gay community. Hey, but then you have like how should I say, like different, that would be weird saying genres, but different types of
subcultures.
I don't want to say I guess subcultures too. Yeah, I guess subcultures, but like different types of people within within the community, like such as studs.
Yes.
You know, studs, and then there's femmes, you know, and that's mostly within the lesbian culture. And then as far as going back to not just talking about the gay community, but the Black community, we have DLs, which is down low. Down low is it's actually mostly a phrase used within the Black community, and that's heterosexual men who enjoy the company of like sexual company, you know, relations with other men. Once again, unfortunately, African Americans, we are like the least accepting of gay people, of gay culture, and we often have like these terms to, you know, down, what's the word I'm looking for? Like
downplay or shun,
kind of ridicule like gay people, We'll use phrases like "no homo," pause. If you say something the least bit sus, then all of a sudden, like we have to. And that actually started once again back in slavery, when our culture and our identities were stripped from us. We had the church, and our church, obviously within church, it was formed by the white man. It was what how the white man gave us church, and that's all we had. We had our faith, and we did it the way the white man showed us. And because of that heteronormative, where it's like a man and a woman, it was always like a standard, like a man and a woman and stuff. And so that just kept going throughout generations, throughout times. And because the black community is so like, is so invested within black church as well. Like, because it's very rare to know a black family and not be a part of the black church, a black church, and that's because of what the Bible says, which the Bible doesn't say, which is wrong.
Freaking man-made.
It's man-made. The Bible doesn't say anything about gay people.
They changed the words.
They definitely changed the words. Definitely. And because of that, and also because of the perception of black people already, we just harbor so much like negativity and hatred towards being gay or being queer of any kind. Yes, we're a whole lot better now. And I think that comes from us finally recognizing ourselves, like giving ourselves flowers just by being black, period. That we're finally accepting our gay people. Like people are like, yeah, I'm gay. And it's just kind of like, cool, kind of a situation, There's also I already talked about that. Jeez. But yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. Religion being like the cornerstone of why we don't accept homosexuality. I'm so glad we're far from that now. We're finally accepting each other. In our education system, where it's still also kind of like, I've said this before, but the one thing Gen Zs really did is being so loud and proud. It really helped, because where kids were constantly being bullied pretty much into suicide for being gay, it's now more like there are more kids fighting against the bullying.
I do agree. I have to agree.
You know what I mean? Like they're actually more band together from the older people who like judge them. If anything. So I'm really into that. Hip hop being one of the like biggest we don't accept. When you hear hip hop, you don't usually think gay culture.
But Lil Nas X changed that.
I was about to say, so not just Lil Nas X, but there's people like Kevin Abstract as well. Like they're really changing the game as far as incorporating being homosexual with,
also being a hip hop artist.
Yeah, because
we already know there's a lot of rappers that are DL, and I feel like you shouldn't have to be.
You shouldn't have to be.
You should be able to love who you love.
Now, I've been listening to Frank Ocean for like ever since day one, and I remember when he came out as gay, and I was like, I lived for it. I'm like, great, like, because when I tell you when you don't hear enough about people, like gay people within, like, as we know, like within hip hop, rap, R&B, whatever. And when they don't come out and stuff, it's kind of like we constantly feel like we can't accept it.
Right.
And so when they come out and when they say their piece and they say who they are, I listen.
And I think it'd be so crazy that they don't come out, because it's like, we know.
Yeah, that's another thing. Another thing. It's like, you don't really gotta say anything. We know. We freaking know. But that's gonna be really it for me with this, because honestly, when I tell you I could talk about gay culture for like ever and a day, the last thing I do want to talk about though is health within the gay community, especially within the Black gay community, and that's with like AIDS and HIV, so sexually transmitted diseases. We are at the highest risk, A, for just being Black, B, for being queer and Black, that has like, it's like 70% are more likely to get AIDS or HIV. Whether it's drugs, unsafe sex, a lot of it is because of sex work that they would have to do. And that's because a lot of times our queer people come out to their parents and they get kicked out right away. And so the only way they know how to make money
is to sell their bodies,
to sell themselves. And of course, then comes the drugs and stuff to numb themselves from everything that's going on. I would like to put out there that back in the day, yes, it was scary. It's still scary now, but HIV isn't, and AIDS, it's not what y'all, it's nothing to fear now. You know, like, yes, we still want to stay safe. Obviously, we still don't want the disease, because a disease is a disease is a disease. But there are still people out there who will treat other people with AIDS or HIV like they're like COVID, like, don't touch me, I don't want to get it kind of situation. That is not the case. You cannot just get AIDS or HIV from someone just by a hug or even a kiss. And a lot of the time, and nowadays, you don't even die from it anymore. Like, as long as you take your medication, you can actually still have a healthy sex life and not transmit it to your partner.
Exactly.
You can have kids and not transmit it to the children. There's just so much misinformation. But I just want to say, please practice safe sex and protect yourselves, because it is still a big thing within our queer Black community, and it is a thing within even heterosexual Black communities as well. It's not just our queer people. Black people, we are more likely to get HIV or AIDS, period.
Yeah.
Just period. Like, you probably never been with a man, never been with a woman. It's, you can still get it. So I just want to say that, because I get it's scary, but I still hear people talk about how like scary it is, and it's not that anymore. It's not that anymore. Like, medicine has come a long way, people. So just protect yourselves. That's all you really have to do, is protect yourselves. Get tested, right? Get tested. Make sure your partner's tested.
Protect yourself.
Protect yourself.
Low key, I think that's a commercial.
It is. It is a commercial. But I think the song's an actual song too. Isn't the song an actual song?
Well, it's not called Protect Yourself.
I was like,
express
yourself. But then isn't there? Oh, then wait. I don't think protect yourself is the right word then in the commercial either.
No, I just made that up.
Oh! I was saying, because I'm saying, isn't that an actual song?
No,
you're right.
I literally just made that up.
Okay, because I'm like, you're right. It is express yourself. That ain't the words of the song.
Yeah, no,
that is not the words. Okay, but yeah, I'm so sorry. That was long-winded. But like I said, I could talk about my love community all day. What?
Nothing.
Go ahead.
I didn't know we were ready. Okay, we're gonna spotlight our Black businesses, y'all.
Grab my phone.
So I was doing dance and I was doing fashion. So, well, I did a little bit of fashion, just a teensy bit. But I wanted to highlight some Black-owned dance studios here in the DFW area.
Bam.
So, Studio 6A Dance Academy. Check them out, y'all. 4110 line dancers. I actually want us to go to this place so we can learn some line dances. Because, we're gonna go to some trail rides in like South Carolina, and we're gonna do some line dances. Be like, where them fans at? Where them fans at? Give me what's up with it.
I saw a video of a guy was like, Black people, Why do we act like we know? Why do we start a dance and act like we've been doing it for years? No one told me about this line dance thing. I'm watching a video, and why is everybody acting like we've been doing this dance for years? I've never seen this dance in my entire life. What do black people? Yeah, it was the funniest thing in the world.
And then Diva Dance. It's a black owned kind of workout type fitness dance studio. So check them out, y'all.
Yeah, so I'm more did you
I have one more.
Oh, but that was for...
That was just for dance studios. I have a fashion one too.
Okay, so for my, when it comes to fashion, it's not necessarily one in specific. Mm-hmm. It's actually, I just want to say that there are so many black designers out there, like for fashion, beauty brands, you know,
just we spotlighted a few in some of our other videos.
Yeah, we have spotlighted a few, but I just want to say, go out there and look them up, because when I tell you there's a lot, there's a lot, and it's beautiful work and stuff, and we really need to start putting more money into our communities.
Yep.
So, go do that, and I'll put the links for some places you can check them out.
Yeah, let's move on to our
quotes.
I got two.
Okay, go ahead. Actually, I would like to close mine out. Go ahead.
Oh, okay, so you want to close her out.
I would have closed mine out.
So my dance quote is from Alvin Ailey. I know I'm saying your name wrong, and I apologize. He said, "I believe that dance comes from the people, and that it should always be delivered back to the people." The other quote is from Laura Roach. "Having a strong point of view when it comes to your style makes people feel like it's really you."
Truth. That's truth. Yeah. Because I feel like when people wear clothes, it's based off of the confidence. It's not about the fashion trends or how it looks, but how you present it confidently will really, like, it goes a long way. Yes, there are things that may not be flattering, like actually flattering, but that's only because you're seeing it. That's only if you're seeing it as like, oh, this is just it's not doing it for me. But if you're just like, oh no, I look like this, I look like that, then of course it's going to look unflattering because you look uncomfortable. But with your, like, as long as you have like that confidence in what you're wearing, if you love it that much, I can promise you it goes a long way. So Law Roach, yeah, he definitely said that.
I'm glad you went in detail with that, because I like the quote, but as someone who's not really like a fashion person, it really didn't like, I like the quote, but I'm just like, but you explaining it to me, yeah.
Because that's always been, I love fashion. Like, I really do. Like, I've kind of been neglecting myself on it this past, like, few years. But I love fashion. And I honestly don't care what season I'm in. I will wear whatever I want to wear, however I feel good. And I will wear it confidently because it goes a long way.
One thing I do have to say is I feel like, and this could just be my point of view, fashion here in Texas sucks.
Oh, it's not just your point of view. I can promise you it's not just your point of view. Like, I've never seen so many jeans and t-shirts in my life. I've never seen so many jeans and t-shirts.
Literally. I'm like, it's kind of boring.
It's very boring.
You come here, and I do feel like you're a fashion girl. You come here, and you're like, you wear this and this, and I'm like, I would have never thought of that.
So what's so crazy is I would typically wear clothes, whatever it is, wherever I'm going, whatever I'm doing, I'll dress up. I mean, I'm not going to say to the T, to the 9, the whole 9 or nothing, but I will like serve a look.
Right.
You know what I mean? Nowadays I only do it for when I'm like going out, and that's just not destiny at all. And that's going to have to change. Definitely, because I should be looking good no matter what.
Well, I'm ready to see the looks, because I don't feel like I have.
I'm ready to see the looks too after I buy some clothes. Because I got rid of a lot of clothes, so I need to buy some clothes so I can start showing some looks. Because I would like to see those looks too.
Let's do it.
But my quote is from RuPaul Charles himself.
Oh, his middle name is Charles?
His name is RuPaul Charles.
Oh. I never knew that.
RuPaul's his actual name.
Oh.
What? His mama named him RuPaul.
Okay, thank you, Mom.
And he said actually a lot of people don't know, like people think RuPaul is a nickname, but it's actually his name. And one of his advices he did, I can't remember what interview he was doing, but he said, they asked, what advice would you give? He's like, do not use your actual name for business, because when he does like paperwork and things like that, like, because it's not only his name but his stage name as well, things get so mixed up. It's like the hardest thing to like, so don't use your, so he's like, do have a different stage name. Don't use your name as your stage name.
But his name works though. Like it's a good
like
stage
perfect
name.
yeah. But yeah, RuPaul is his actual name. But RuPaul always closes his shows with, if you can't love yourself, then how the hell are you gonna love somebody else? Can I get an amen up in here? Amen. Yeah, since he's all about fashion and he's within the gay community, within the gay community as well, serves a look, like his suits, his dresses,
literally,
like, you know,
I love it.
Stays. So yeah.
But yeah, y'all, that includes our Black History Month. We're moving into the month of March, which is my birth month. So expect some really fun content. If y'all have some ideas, share them with us. We love to hear what you guys want to talk about or discuss. And who knows, we may start taking some phone calls later on down the line.
That'd be great.
Later on down the line.
Later on down the line. Definitely.
But yeah, y'all. You want to say the words?
Stay mad.
Stay mad, y'all. Bye.
Bye.